I wanted to talk about lies and dishonesty and autism, because it's something that I've been contemplating a lot for a while now, and I've been thinking, why have I been so angry when anger's not my thing? Like, I'm usually quite laid back, and I've been feeling really angry and at a certain person, and like everything's perfectly alright until this certain person makes some form of contact with me, and then this anger and lots of feelings and things that I'm so totally not that's not familiar, or that I don't, you know, basically my sense of inner peace just like is smashed and obliterated in no time at all, within seconds of this person contacting me, and my heart goes and my stomach goes, and I feel incredibly sad. And I'd been thinking about it, and I realised that it's because of the lies. And now a person without autism kind of knows that everyone lies. And most people with autism, we know that people lie. But when people are assuring us they're telling the truth and they're still lying, and they're telling us that what we think is wrong, even though we're sure that we're right, and it forces us to really challenge our own senses and makes us feel really uncomfortable, because we're having to challenge what we think we believe daily, often. Like, it really throws an autistic person, and it throws our heads into this strange spaghetti junction of thoughts, because autistic people like to try and improve and think, well, what is it I do wrong and how can I improve, and how can things be less uncomfortable, because I don't like uncomfortable. I like routine, I like regular, I like things to be similar and pretty much the same, actually, and I like things to be as they should be, which is for me. I like to get up and have the days the same. I like to, if people say they're being honest, I actually believe them, which when I find out that I shouldn't actually believe them, then I feel really stupid, and I feel really silly and uncomfortable. And when I'm talking the truth, I believe it to be absolute truth, or what I feel is absolute truth, and I know everyone's absolute truth is different. And I've been looking at truth and what's true and what's lies for many years now, and I used to look at things that came out of this person's mouth, and I used to think, well, that's his truth and this is my truth, and that's okay that we can both have different truths. And I figured that there was more than one truth, and that was okay, and I was comfortable with that. But when someone assures you and guarantees that they will say something and they mean something, and they will go forward with that, whatever that be, whether it'll be in the way that they're behaving, or the way that they're intending to behave, or the way that they feel about you, or something that they want to do for you, or something, or they're saying something and you're saying, well, are you sure that's right? And they're going, yes, 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 and really they mean no, 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 but they don't want to say yeah because they feel uncomfortable doing it. So that whole life of not knowing what's true can be really confusing and really hard to get your head around, especially when you're Asperger's or autistic. And I feel that when you look into things, they say, oh yeah, autistic people can lie, but there's not that much out there. And I found this really cool article that kind of explains the truth about when you're on the spectrum, and how lying really does screw with your head, and how it does really make you feel uncomfortable, and how it really isn't unfair that people are saying things because that's, you know, they assume it means one thing, but they're not realising that to you it means something completely different. But I also know that that's true with most things, because now, looking at life, I see most things are an utter lie. They're big lies, big fat juicy lies, and I can handle, and I can manage, and I can get my head around the big fat juicy lies that society tells, that community tells, that people tell, you know, about religion and about politics and about the way of things, and I can get my head around all that. I figure it's just the way people are getting by on a grander scale, and the lies in marketing and advertising and stuff. Absolutely, I can understand why they're trying to manipulate people and what they're trying to achieve. Yeah, I get all that. Makes sense. Fair enough. But when it comes to a person who, because autistic people, when they actually like someone or make a connection with someone, they don't really want to lose that connection. They might not say anything or talk to you for a while because they might like their own time and space, but they actually give a shit, and they're not likely to be a fair weather friend like a lot of people are in society. Well, in my life I found many fair weather friends, and very little that I want to be friends for life with, or friends on a deep level. So when you've got a friend who you've allowed into that inner circle, and they're filling you with their version of truth and making guarantees and telling you you're wrong and trying to convince you otherwise, when they do prove you right in a way, and it happens over and over, it throws your trust into the air, and it hurts, and you can't get your head around it, and then you're angry that you ever bothered to trust them or allow them into your inner circle in the first place. And that's like, and it hurts. It really fucking hurts. It's like having your heart ripped open, and it's like being treated like you're an idiot, and then you feel like you're really stupid, and because you shouldn't have trusted them in the first place. And that is basically how a person with autism feels when their world that you build for them based on your bullshit falls apart, because it is to them their world. It was their skeleton. It was their foundation, their very building blocks in which they were building everything on, that you basically built with fucking sand. There was no cement, there was no water, you just built everything on sand, so it just fell away. And you built up belief systems that wrongfully manipulated a person into thinking and feeling they were safe. It's like moving someone into a house built on a cliff that's falling apart or something. And it's fucking cruel. It's cruel to keep lying, and then it's cruel to continue lying and continue hiding stuff and continue telling them that no, you know, these are the truths, and this is true, and I will be there, and I you know, that I love you and all that shit. It's so fucking false. and so impermanent. And even if the person kind of believes it at the time, like, they don't seem to get their own karma. So while the other person's world falls apart, that person is going on merrily like nothing ever fucking happened in the first place, never taking any responsibility whatsoever fucking ever for their own actions, because life's rosy when you do that, and you can live in a state of avoidance. Whereas people with Asperger's and autism don't have that ability. They have to go, wow, my entire world's fallen apart. I'm going to have to rebuild that, and I'm going to have to try and find a foundation that's firm to put my roots in, and try and make everything safe and familiar again. But it's so weird, and it's so challenging, and we grow. We're all capable of growth and development. But please, I suppose the moral of the story, if you get me, stop fucking lying. Stop telling people what's true when it's only a rose-tinted version of the truth. Stop feeding people the bullshit and making guarantees. You can't actually guarantee. If you can actually guarantee it because it's absolute truth, then say absolute truth. I completely guarantee this. But if you can't, say, well, actually the truth is I can't guarantee it, but right now this is how I feel, and it might not last forever, but this is what I believe to be true right now. And that at least means that you're ready to cope with whatever happens when there's a change, because changes are something that are really, really difficult for people on the spectrum.